And many of you probably already know Debbie Wilson if you've watched Cooper and Company for many years now. She was with us over in the Shoals area. How are you?
I'm great, great. So nice to see you guys and to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here with us this morning. Debbie actually sent an email in and said, I've written a book and need to be on your show, and I didn't realize it was you until I got the book and saw your picture on the back.
Well, thank you very much for having me and the support. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. The second thing I wanted to say is I didn't know that you had a brother that was going through what he did. Debbie's written a book, and it's called Brushing Away the Tears. And there's a picture of it right there. Now, when I first got this book, Debbie, I'm gonna be very open and honest with you. This book is about your brother who passed away at age 39.
Right.
Now, your brother died of HIV or AIDS.
Right.
Okay, so he was openly gay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you at first thought, you think, okay, here is a book about an openly gay man who died of AIDS. Now,
right.
At first you think, why is anyone going to, one, want to read that, or two, you're not doing it for sympathy or anything like that. When I read this book, and I've read just about every page of this book, it was very interesting. You have journals in here from your brother, your mother, yourself.
Right.
And first of all, knowing you all these years, I did not know you were going through this. You did it well.
Right. You know, it's one of those things that just took me a while to come to terms with, and this is part of the healing process, really.
And it is, and we're in an area that, you know, where the gay community, you don't hear a lot about it here. No. Not like everyone's, you know, accustomed to, I guess, up north. But in reading the book, I have to say, it was very, I mean, there's some emotional journals in here, and I guess the passion of everyone coming to terms with, we're all going to die.
Right.
And you're all writing about it in here.
Right. And, you know, and it's his voice largely that speaks. Is what the publisher really liked about it, and what struck a chord. And timing, a lot of times, is everything. There's a lot more discussion now about HIV and AIDS and awareness because it hasn't gone away.
Right. And it's not going to.
No, and that's one of the goals of publishing the book, too, was to share my brother's experience. And also, he was an artist, and that's where the term brushing comes from, brushing away the tears. And, you know, to showcase his art and to, you know, make sure his memory stays alive. Right. And hopefully other people can relate that are going through similar things, and to also just point out to people that, you know, we all have a limited time and to make the most of every day, but also to remind people that AIDS and HIV is still there. Especially a lot of younger people really don't think about it.
No, they don't.
And, you know, there's just a lot of different, you know, a lot of risky behavior, and this is a way to do it without being overly preachy about it. It's just to read someone's experience in their own words.
And this is, I mean, this is true life too. When you're reading it, you know, we're all going to die. Yes, we know that. However, here is a young man. He died at age 39, close to Christmas. Right. A young man that was faced with it for what, a year, 2 years?
Three and a half years.
3.5 years. And knowing that you're going to die and reading daily out of someone's journal who is going to die, that was, I mean, I don't know if interesting is the right word, but it just kind of makes you realize there's a lot of things you better do in this life because, I mean, you're not here forever.
Right. And he, you know, he knew that, and that's why he threw his passion into his art. And the cover is a final self-portrait that is a masterpiece. It really, in a lot of ways, I mean, he went to an art school in California, and his art teacher was blown away by this. And of course my parents absolutely despised the painting because it's very disturbing. But it's just very powerful, hopefully, and like I said, I hope it shares some experience, and also, you know, for us it helps the healing process and keeps his memory alive.
Going through this as a family where, you know, you have your mother, you have Thanksgiving, and you have everyone getting together, that's very difficult on the family as well to go through this.
All right, and you know, we have a very close family anyway, but it brought us closer, even though we were 2,000 miles apart. My parents were in, of course, Alabama, and we were in California. But it really did, you bring us very much closer. And a lot of people, especially my California friends and some other folks that have read it, are amazed at the Southern closeness that families have and the connection that we have, because everyone, you know, was involved, and they were able to come out to California. But it's I guess we take it for granted in the South how close everybody is, and how, you know, we take care of each other no matter what. Do you
ever think back? I know it was probably extremely difficult reading through his journals and then reliving it, I guess.
Yeah.
How strong you actually are?
Well, I don't know.
Part of the backbone of the family?
Well, it has been tough. I mean, and you know, even going through the editing process a few months ago was tremendously difficult because it is reliving it. But it's also like, yeah, my mother said this. My mother's in a nursing home, and her mind is fine. She had several strokes, so she's very excited about all this. But also, it's a bittersweet kind of thing. But she said it had made her feel a lot closer to him and like he's with her again. And that's the way it has been with me, because we've definitely felt his spirit with us. And the people at the nursing home have been incredible with her on this, because I didn't expect a lot of them to read it, but they have, and they empathize with my mother about losing a child. And it's been great, too, to hear similar stories from people that have lost siblings or children.
Right.
Sharing that has been a very healing process for me that I guess I didn't really expect that aspect of it, and it's been great.
Well, good. Where can people get the book?
Amazon.com. We also have it in Coldwater Bookstore in Tuscumbia, Alabama.
Okay.
We're working on some other retail outlets. It's also on BarnesandNoble.com website and Books A Million's website.
Great. How much does the book sell for, Debbie?
$11.95.
$11.95. I think it was a very interesting read. It was, I guess it's just so real. The
Right, well,
best way
his
to
own voice.
explain it. I mean, it's true. It's true, and it just kind of reminds you, don't take every day for granted, and we do.
Well, we do. That's right. And it's like, live every day like it's your last, and make sure you appreciate everybody in your life.
All right. And you made one comment in here before we go to break, saying that going through this process of 3.5 years, knowing that your brother was about to die, you wondered if it's almost easier, or you thought it would be harder if someone just suddenly died. But
Right.
I think this would be more difficult, knowing you have 2 years to live.
Yeah, and it really took over our lives in many respects. I mean, you go along with your everyday living, but it's always there, and that's what, he mentions that in his journals, that it's always lurking there.
Yeah, well, I think you did very well.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Well, you're so welcome. Get the book. It's very interesting, and it'll really make you think about your own life, too, I'm sure. 230-4988 gets us this morning. Give us a call or email me, ztv@jamiecooper.com, and I'll let you know how to get the book. We'll be back right after this.